Let me get my recorder going as well. Christina, did you want to start us out with a question?
Sure, yeah. I just wanted to start pretty broadly for you, Coach, just about in general what you're hoping to see this weekend and kind of what the expectation is as far as who you've got running.
Well, expectation is always, to take another step forward. Um, uh, from a team standpoint, as you know, there are a lot of different events, but taking a step forward as a team overall, general step forward as we move, towards the meet next week at LSU and in the on the horizon, the SEC championship in May. So I know it's a kind of nothing sexy to say as far as the meet this weekend, except the fact that hey, we're continuing to kind of make the sausage and um, hope that get some decent weather and we get a few good performances in.
I did want to ask about the weather. Forgive me, my ignorance. I've actually never gotten to cover an outdoor meet, but as far as the weather concerns, what do you guys do what does it take to kind of have to push a meet off, or what do you guys do in the event of a storm like we might
Well, I
have?
mean, it's probably no different than football or um, baseball, softball, whatever. And that is, hey, we're going to run the meet, rain or shine. And if lightning kicks in, then we're going to have to delay it. So our goal is to get the meet in. We did entertain maybe having the meet on Saturday, but like kind of they do in baseball again or softball, where they'll change up and say, hey, we got to have a doubleheader tonight because of the weather the next day. But the weather looks generally the same Friday and Saturday, so we're just going to go for it and hopefully get this meet in, and again, work on some areas and get some guys some reps and try to get better each week.
With Jordan Anthony, obviously, with his record run last weekend, we've talked before about the difficulty of two sport athletes, having track success. So, obviously, he had success in indoor as well, but have you, in general, this season as a whole, been surprised by the success he's been able to have?
No. Now that he's concentrating on one sport, and he's healthy. He had an injury issue last year where he wasn't 100% indoors and then outdoors. He had we didn't compete him. He had an operation, all that stuff. So doesn't surprise us after what we've seen indoors, how he carries himself in practice, how he trains, you know, um, he's not a part timer. You know what I'm saying? So he's dialed in on um, uh, getting better and getting stronger. So his demeanor, his attitude in practice, his willingness to do exactly what Coach Case has him to do, which is, I mean, he ran on a 4x4 a couple weeks ago. He ran a 400. He hadn't done that since high school. So, but without hesitation. So he wants to be the best, and so no, it does. All those variables come into play, Christine. It doesn't surprise me at all that he broke our school record, ran on the 10 seconds, and has put himself in a pretty elite category.
He goes under he goes sub 10 this early and, has a lot of track ahead of him. What do you feel like his ceiling is, whether it's in the 100 or the other events that he's in?
Oh, he's got potential in it too. He's going to run the weather permitting. He's going to run the 200 here tomorrow. He ran it last week too. So we're in a. It's all about Coach Case. We're in a training stage right now, and um, you know depends on how things work for tomorrow. But we have him scheduled to run a 200, and just keep working on his strength is speed, for the most part. So the sky's the limit at 200 as well.
Evan, did you have a question?
Yeah, I got a couple. How you doing, Coach? First of all,
Good.
good to see you.
Thanks.
Question for you on the 4x400 meter crew. What did you like about their, it was a tight finish this weekend, but what you, like it and see that foursome can build off of?
Well, I mean, just a great effort by our guys. One of the top times. I don't know if we're ranked first, second, third, or somewhere right around there, but we're all within, I think, a half a second, Sean. Anyway, whether it's A&M or Florida or us, but a couple things. Number one, it was the first time we really put that team together since indoor. As you know, we didn't get a chance to run it, but I think they went out there. Wanted to prove something in regard to the fact that, hey, we're a legitimate national contender in this event. Texas A&M gets a lot of pub, so does Florida. But I think those guys wanted to make a statement. And I'm just happy with the grittiness of how they competed. And those were, three good teams out there that we all, you saw the finish. So everybody did a great job, and Battle got us off to a good start. And of course, TJ is just a fierce competitor and kind of a physical runner, and he was able to muscle himself in between those two athletes right there at the end. I mean, you look at that, that race right at the end. I mean, he was 3 strides behind with 4 strides to go, and he won it. So just, love the competitiveness.
And also Rivaldo Marshall, 800-meter victory. What'd you like about him and his performance this past weekend as well?
Well, it's good. I like what I see. I mean, he's ready for a breakthrough. He's hovering around that 145 mark. As you know, last year, he's the NCAA indoor champion for Iowa, transferred in. There's always an adjustment period and what have you, but I mean, he's flexing his muscles now and looks strong. And I thought they ran a solid race. He and Tyrese finished right behind him. So get a pretty good 1-2 punch nationally in that event. And our goal is to get them to the finals in Eugene and see if we can score some big points. So, just happy. Both those guys, new guys, Tyrese from a junior college, Rivaldo moving down, from a Big Ten to here. And so it's, a little bit of adjustment, but doing a great job.
My last question for you, Coach, as we kind of move forward in the season, where are still some of those areas that you'd like to see little bits of improvement here and there that'll ultimately help in the long run of some of those really tight races that could make that difference at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, we still have quite a bit of work to do in the hurdles, the 4x1, just general improvement in some of our other events. We had a good meet with our 1,500-meter runners out in California. All those, I think we had 3 national qualifiers and, just a general improvement. We got a lot of work to do in the field events. Always kind of the, of all of our events that we do, that's kind of the last one that kind of come into focus. And so we've got some work to do in the high jump, the long jump, triple jump, all those types of things where we have a lot of talent. So just have to be patient and, hope for a good result. And, so generally speaking, that field event area is one area that, hey, we'd like to, to see some good marks. But again, it's weather permitting right now. So I don't know if I can give Dan Scoff kudos like I did last. Like he's under the gun for us right now. So hopefully he can give us a track report for, at Friday afternoon and evening. But he helped us big time the last week. So last home.
Yeah, he was on the phone with everybody last week. Especially it was fun to watch and be like, all right, this and this and this is happening. But anyway, thanks, Coach.
Hey, I'm on with Dan Scoff. Like I listen to his, I'm a weather nerd and I'm in California and I'm listening to his that podcast till 3 a.m. I love, it's just a blast to listen to those guys. So a lot of science there that I'm not smart enough to know, but.
Well, thanks for that, Coach. I'm sure Dan will really appreciate that.
Yeah. Hopefully get a window tomorrow afternoon. We get some good wins and some light winds and, some non-lightning storms, I guess. but that's kind of where we're at. I appreciate you guys.
Any other questions before we wrap up? Appreciate everybody's time today.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, let's go. Football. We got a football press conference, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta go out there now.
All right. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Coach.
Thank you.